I wonder if the relevance of the question can be appreciated by my fellow subscribers. But seeing what's happening in the West, I believe we are going to face this soon, or might already be in it. From the big banner movies to TV series, from Marvel to DC Comics, and even to children's cartoons, depicting men as toxic, ruling over women ruthlessly since ancient times. The idea of women being subjected to men's wishes is being propagated heavily and quite directly nowadays. Not only this, but also the futility of religious values, one's own culture, importance of family, taking the responsibilities are being looked down upon. I've spoken to lots of young people from the West, and they all seem to be really comfortable in smoking, drinking, abusing their parents and elders, glorifying depression and suicides, multiple partners expressing doubting their own sexuality from the age of 13, which is hilarious, and so on. How do these narratives give power to the left ideology uh, of group identity politics, freedom of expression, and give a reason for society's downfall? So the left has a very simple uh, strategy. The strategy is very simple at the core: break down the family system. Because when you have a family system, you have people who can give you support, mental support, who can take care of you in your bad times, and who can influence you in a variety of ways, and whose influence is stronger than the influence of the media and advertising, and your professors and all that. If you have a strong family system, if you have a strong culture, if you have strong attachment to your culture, to your traditional values, to your civilization, to your family, to your extended family, then you have a very stable support system. You will not feel lost, and you will not be susceptible to being influenced strongly and swayed this way and that way by the media, by advertising, and so on. So, to make people vulnerable and susceptible to any messaging you want to give them, you have to first make them rootless. So, go after traditional values, go after the family system. And how do you go after the family system? Say that it's patriarchal, it is oppressive, men have been oppressing women for tens of thousands of years. So the family system is patriarchal. Destroy the family. Let's not have family. Let's have single parent families where only the mother is raising a child or only a father is raising a child. Let's have broken families. Let's get divorced all the time. In the West, that's what's happening. And attack traditional values. So in the West, the traditional values have been Christian values, which we know what the story is. So even that gave people a framework, a cultural framework that they could rely upon for their moral framework, for their morality and ethics. So now that is gone, right? So men are depicted as toxic, fathers are evil, men are bad. uh, then question your sexuality become, I mean, I'm not saying LGBTQ doesn't exist or whatever. We know in India that we have had that for transsexuals, etc., for thousands of years, and they were never persecuted. They were only persecuted in the West. But now people are encouraged to go in that direction so that there will be no families. So what the main strategy is to destroy the family system, destroy all traditional values, make people completely rootless, make the individual the unit of society, not the family the unit of society. In Indo-European society, in all traditional societies, the family is the unit of society, not the individual. Historically, it has always been the family. And in a place like India, it's always been extended families, not nuclear families. So now in India, we are already seeing the destruction of the extended family and the rise of the nuclear family: husband and wife, father and mother, and one or two children. That's what we are seeing. In the West, it's not even the nuclear family anymore, it's single parent families and lots of rootless individuals who don't even know how many family members they may or may not have. So they are atomizing society. They want society to become individualistic, and that's always been part of the Anglo-Saxon culture. I mean, if you see the way the English-speaking world treats its elders, it is deplorable. There is no respect for elders. In Europe, in the non-English speaking world, there is a much higher sense of respect to elderly people. In Asia, in India, China, Japan, etc., it's a whole different level of respect for elderly people, for elder people. If someone is even 5 years older than you, you treat them with deference, courtesy, and respect. That is traditional values in Asia, in the East. You don't see that in the English speaking world. So their value system has always been this way, and now they are exporting it worldwide. You can see that in their culture, in their movies, and so on. So the overall aim is to atomize society, destroy all traditional values, destroy the family, make every individual alone, rootless, and vulnerable. So if you are completely alone, if you are completely rootless, if you have no support system, you can be very easily influenced by your professors, by the mass media, by the news media. Whatever they tell you, you'll believe. And then they make you dependent on drugs, on pharmaceuticals. And if you look at the US, everybody takes prescription medicines, no matter how healthy they may be. Everybody pops pills every day, like multiple times a day. In India, no one does that. But they would like that to happen in India as well. And then you have the opioid crisis and all. So you consume this, you consume that, everything is regulated by chemicals. And then they glorify depression. Everything is about mental illness. I have never seen mental illness. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but the prevalence of mental illness is extremely low in a country like India. It's extremely high in a country like the US. Depression, mental illness, suicides, even kids are affected by this. So it's a terrible, terrible society they're constructing, and it is very dangerous for the world. I spoke about this horrific movie I watched, Batman. My goodness, they glorify all that. It is so dark and depressing. And some people are saying, Abhijit, you are wrong. It has a positive meaning. Are Baba, what are you talking about? So I totally disagree with this nonsense that this Batman movie had some positive messaging. It was totally negative, totally nihilistic. I'm not. Some people are even saying nihilism is good. Arey bhai, what world are you living in? So anyway, that's what it is. So the objective is to atomize and destroy society, to make each individual rootless, directionless, supportless, and vulnerable. So that is actually what the objective is. And what it serves is, it serves the big industries. So if a person is so vulnerable and susceptible to all kinds of messaging, you can make them buy whatever we want to make them buy. So what it serves is, it serves capitalism. Capitalism is about using each individual of the society as a consumer. Now, if you have a good, stable system, you will not want to consume that much. But if you are completely hopeless, rootless, and alone, then you will feel that consumption is going to make me happy. Buy this, buy that, buy the newest phone every year. Buy a phone every year, then throw the old phone. Buy a new device every year. Buy the latest fashion. Look at me. Do I wear latest fashion? I don't. But yeah, buy expensive clothes, buy expensive sneakers, buy expensive watches, buy expensive devices. And your device of last year is old now. Get a new one. So it's, if you are all alone, if you have nobody to give you good advice, you're gonna keep consuming, and they can keep making money off you. So this so-called leftist ideology, it actually serves consumerism, it serves capitalism. Capitalism is all about pursuing endless profits, quarter upon quarter profits. How do you make these profits? How do you do these profits? By exploiting the planet. You cannot have infinite growth on a finite planet. Why is the planet being destroyed? Because of this infinite pursuit of capitalist growth. It is capitalism that is destroying the planet. I'm not saying that we need to go to Marxism or communism. That is also equally bad. But it is this capitalist ideology that has co opted the so called leftist movement. And that's why we are seeing all this in the United States and in the Western world. So that is something India needs to be very careful about.